Welcome to episode 60 of your weekly Concealed Taco Dudes podcast.
Woohoo! You just woke me up, Jason.
We're all a little groggy, suffering from our long weekend. I think.
Happy Labor Day.
We're
Yeah. A lot of labor going on.
We've all been out playing. I'm still covered in trail dirt, but I have a fine layer of dust between my toes, which makes them quite slickery.
Yes.
I'm all cleaned up, but you guys can see all the scratches on my legs and arms.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm dressed up to go take the bird out as soon as the podcast is over.
Oh, I figured you'd already been out.
Nope, it's too warm. But it'll be too cold tomorrow. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
It's big change.
Yeah. It's like 90-something today, and tomorrow we have a high of 57.
Yep.
Welcome to Utah.
Yeah, at least it's not Denver. It's 93 or 4 today. It's supposed to snow tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Well,
Yeah.
Denver deserves it.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, we've had a lot of smoke in the air, though.
Yesterday was insane.
Crazy.
Thanks, California.
Yeah,
Sending all your emissions over here.
I think we got a combination of California, and then there's some Utah fires also.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that smoke goes to Nevada. So,
Well, last night when I was driving out, I actually lost the sun, not behind a mountain. It was so thick.
oh wow,
It was amazing.
Yeah,
it's been bad.
it's bad. This today, like I woke up and just like
Feeling
allergies.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yep.
just
Sneezing,
eyes burning, headache.
Yep.
Yeah.
So one of them that I'm aware of, actually one of the places where Taco films a lot of his videos, was caused by shooters. So if you're a shooter, don't cause fires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lay off the tannerite.
Yeah, it's actually illegal in Utah to use tannerite
On
or
public
exploding
lands.
targets on public lands.
Yeah.
But the other causes of fire, it could be a shooter who happens to be a smoker,
Yeah, right.
flicks that cigarette butt, or tracer ammo.
Maybe we should look at one of these times, on the podcast, what can actually cause a fire while shooting, what weapon or projectile or target can actually do that. Because I always never really believe that it's a ricochet off a rock that caused it or something.
Yeah. That seems unlikely.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I do know that tracers can cause fire, though.
Yeah.
Do you?
I know for a fact.
Huh.
But I did not cause any of these fires.
Or that dragon's breath round.
Oh,
12
yeah,
minutes.
that's-
Yeah. Flamethrower rounds.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump
Anyway.
into some sponsors. Taco, what do you got for us?
Tackware. Everyday titanium gadgets. So flashlights,
Aprons.
titanium toothpick, grappling hook, the Arty tool. I mean, they got a lot of titanium
Their
gadgets.
keychains. Check out their
EDC
keychains.
gear.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
And how many people have a flashlight, sort of, but don't carry it?
Yeah.
I do. I've got a really, really nice little teeny flashlight that I should have with me all the time.
Right.
So anyway, go to Tackware and get a flashlight.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because you can have the Tackware flashlights. I like the more powerful one. So I don't like the middle one as much.
Yeah.
Like I like the very bright one, and then I like that little tiny one. It's like does it take AAA batteries?
I think it takes one AAA battery.
Goldilocks and the three flashlights.
Yeah, I like either
just right.
the really powerful one
Yeah.
because on that one you can turn it down.
Well, and the new one's rechargeable now too.
Oh, cool.
And I think it's just over 1,000 lumens, where the old one was 900.
Yeah. And I mean the middle one. How many lumens
I think
is
it's
that
350.
one?
It's a good mid-sized light.
It's like pretty practical, but
Yeah.
when you're out camping and stuff and you want to just
Light up the mountain.
light up the whole mountain, like it just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
But the other one is pretty good, and that one's 1,000 lumen or close.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Well,
Make sure and use their code at checkout.
Taco 10
10.
will save you 10%.
Yep.
Next on the list is noebulletmolds.com, and coupon code FLT001 will save you dollars.
yeah, significant dollars.
Yeah, and just as a quick not shout out, but just a quick FYI, they are doing a hollow point 195 grain bullet mold for the snubbies for 357.38.
Nice.
Really?
Yes, it looks awesome. So I'm going to get one of those and try that out.
Does it leave you room with 1.5 grains of red dot?
I don't know. I know some guys have been shooting a similar bullet, but this one, it has this nice deep hollow point, but it still has 195 grains of.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I wonder how much barrel is left, like when the bullet is traveling through the barrel.
Right.
Of the the stub
completely
nose.
fills the barrel on its way out.
But I plan on casting and loading that for my snub nose,
Neat.
the Scandium frame.
Okay, let's hurry and get to mag holding.
Mag holder. What do you got?
So the Generation 2 started with the G43 and the Shield. We are making a Generation 2.1 with the Shield. We're going to retrofit those with metal retention clips instead of the polymer ones. And that's coming down the pipe. But today, the SIG 365, the SIG 320, and the Springfield Hellcat are ready to go and shipping. So
Nice.
yeah, please use the discount code finally at checkout, and we'll get it right out to you right away this week.
Nice.
Ooh,
Cool.
Awesome.
I'm enjoying mine.
Are you wearing it now?
Of course.
Hey, oh sweet, awesome.
Sweet.
Well, that's about it. I'm going to keep it short so we can.
Okay, real fast going back to NOE, I forgot to say.
Ah, jeez.
Yes, that group buy is ending. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you want the combined discount of your, like, say, $1,000 club discount and your the group buy discount, then you need to sign up on the NOE forums and just post which model you want. But it is going to be done. I think Al said he's going to run them in about a week. So
Cool.
get your order in.
And you can
And
find those on
NOEBulletMolds.com, and then you click on the
buy.
forums, and then
Okay.
it'll be in the group buy section, but the last call. So it's the last call.
Last call.
There's-
Jump on that while you
Yeah,
can.
that one's going to be a special bullet. I can tell. I'm going to shoot it into gel, see what it does.
Neat.
Cast it soft and stuff. So anyways, sorry.
Cool.
Moving on.
Let's jump into listener feedback. Now, last episode, we asked for your help with
A couple of things.
Well, a couple of things, but I'm thinking in particular with the Misfire Award, because we had people wanting the Misfire Award to come back, which we all do. And we did get a bunch of responses from that. But I kind of went through them. I think you went through them too, Taco. And it just, a lot of them was like, yeah, we've done that one. Yeah, we've done that one. That one's not new. You know, there were some that were, some
You were exercising.
woman who shot her neighbor because her neighbor was accusing her of being a bad parent. Kind of interesting, but really kind of sad also. Another one, the guy...
I need to have Shimei read that one because she kind of gets in everybody's business. In our
The other one, the guy pulled a spear gun on somebody over a parking spot.
That's pretty cool, though.
Kind of, yeah. He got in trouble over it, which is
Yeah.
funny because you pull a regular gun and in a
Well, a spear gun is like, that'll kill you just as good as a regular gun.
It will, but for some reason it's viewed differently. It's like using wasp spray on somebody instead of pepper
Bear
spray.
spray.
You can have issues. But anyway, so there were some great entries that came in, but nothing like super noteworthy. And so
So apparently everybody failed. Just
You-
step it up next week.
Step it up a notch.
could you guys please suck less?
Oh, jeez. Okay.
There goes our last listeners.
All right, so we have some listener feedback. This one is from Matt in Wisconsin, and he says, Ween is the band, and I may have been your only listener who has heard of them. I had a dirty hippie roommate in college who loved them. Couldn't stand them myself.
So, in the spirit of inclusiveness, which is a sort of a trademark of this podcast, I know Ween, and one of my favorite songs is "The Many Colors in the Homo Rainbow." I thought that was a great song. I mean, it's really catchy. It's great stuff.
Okay.
So
everybody, pause the show right now. Go look that up and give it a listen.
it's awesome. It really is.
It was what again?
Many colors in the Homo rainbow.
Many Colors in the Homo Rainbow by Ween.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Okay, the next one we have is from Hoflo.
Hoflo.
Yeah.
No, he said don't use
He said-
Hoflo. That sounds racist.
No,
Jason.
yeah. So he says, hey, thanks so much. I'll be sure to send Tackware a nice note. In case you haven't guessed, Hobart Floyd is a pseudonym. See my contact information below.
It's probably the lead singer of Ween or something.
And he says, and no, it's not Hoflo. That sounds Jacist or maybe Stanist, which is almost Satanist. And he also says, oh, and tell Stan I will never wash the apron. It has his DNA on it.
Yeah,
And then he sent a link to, what's that TV show with the nerds?
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang
there you
Theory,
go.
yeah, where they're cloning some guy or something.
Yeah. So he won the Tackware apron and flashlight and Artie tool, which I have not shipped yet. I'm very sorry.
Oh.
This week was
So
kind of
the concealed carry package went out
Yes.
last week.
Yeah.
So
Mark was in charge of that after I got him the holster, which was a little late. But hey,
All right, we have
coming.
an email from William S. William S. He's I think he won the first contest.
maybe.
Oh, he's in France now.
Yes.
Yeah. So he says, gents, here are some ideas for discount codes you may want to consider. Oh, and the obscure band name mentioned previously was probably Ween. Not that obscure, as I've definitely rocked out to them back in the day when my best friend came back into town.
Well, so clearly he's a dirty hippie who's backpacking for
actually, it's
Europe.
probably the friends of the other guy.
Yeah, he's the other dude's
He's
roommate.
the other guy. So here are some of his coupon codes. He has Henry,
That's a good one.
Patrick Swage, not Brett, and Patrick Swagey, that love and feelin', Bat Stanuel, and Chesticular Satchel Device. And
good.
I like mine slickery, and the na Batman. That one would be a very hard
That
one
would
to
be hard.
type.
How many NAs do I need to pipe
Right.
in there?
And then the last one was I am the Stallion Mang. So he said that was his favorite.
It's probably another Ween song. No one's heard it.
All right, one more, and then we have, I guess we have two more, but this one is from Bill, and he says, Taco Dudes, hello from Texas. I have been listening to the podcast off and on since the Gun Dudes days. Thank you for all of the work you put into making a very entertaining and informative podcast.
And he can still string two sentences
I know.
together.
How much
That's
brain damage
impressive.
does he have after this long? He says, I know that there is a significant time investment to produce such a quality show. I especially enjoyed the episode. we need to have Mark do an edit.
Yeah.
Then he'll appreciate that
Yes.
comment. But
Yes.
he says, I especially enjoyed the episode where you interviewed the host of Black Man with a Gun.
Ken Blanchard.
Ken Blanchard. And I can only hope that difficult conversations like that can continue to take place. I look forward listening to his podcast as well as reading his content.
Cool.
Regarding guns, I blame Taco for convincing me to build a Wolverine caliber AR. Yeah, he's probably loving it. The Wolverine's a cool cartridge.
Okay.
But anyways, he says, I plan to use that rifle for hog elimination on our small ranch property. I
Nice.
reload but haven't started casting yet. I hope to get into that sometime soon. Do you have any advice on entry-level kits or calibers to start with, books, etc.? And
We should just give him Jeff from California's number, and
they can just go back and forth. Well, as far as reloading, I'd say if you want to speed up your production slightly more, like faster than a single stage press, that Lee Classic turret press is a really good one.
I have
And-
one of those. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I have one of those.
You load one round at a time,
Yep.
and
Right.
it rotates around, and you can make pretty good ammo with
And
that.
you
And it
can't-
doesn't really cost
They're cheap.
that much more
Yeah,
than
exactly.
some of the other
Cheap.
single stage
And
presses.
you can get accessories if you want to for like bullet feeders and case feeders and stuff for it if you want to.
Yeah, and you can also get the turrets, and so you
Yeah,
could load up.
Yeah, so
you
switch
just-
them out.
Yeah, you can
Right.
quick change your turrets, and that's kind of cool too. But I would say as an entry level press, that one would be high up there. There's also some of the good single stage presses like the Rock Chucker. It's just a classic. And if you want a high end single stage press, get a Forster coax. But that's like really expensive.
Or
But they're
just
nice.
sell a kidney and buy a Dylan.
Yeah, well,
you could sell 10% less of your kidneys if you use the discount code here. Though.
That's true.
You know?
And always discount.
yeah. Anyways, I'd say, I mean, starting out with a single stage or that turret press is probably the best way to go.
You know,
And
if you think you might like it, I mean, like if it really is intellectually interesting to you, I'd almost consider going straight for the turret, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean the turret is.
They're not that much more.
I
Right.
started a friend.
What are they, like $300?
No,
No,
they're cheaper.
I think
Really?
I think I got mine
like
for $100.
Great.
No, the turret presses are about 180, I believe.
Okay.
I know I
150,
didn't.
180.
I
something
know
like
I
that.
didn't pay that much.
Well, you
for
never
it.
pay full price.
That's
for
true.
anything.
Yeah. But it's a good way to start out, and you get to see each step in the process.
Right.
Whereas if you're doing like a Dylan, sometimes it's overwhelming because you don't know
True.
what to check for.
Right.
And so after you know the process of reloading, then you get a progressive press like a Dylan or a Hornady or something.
And you can realistically, with something like 9 or 45, you can crank out 400 rounds an hour with something like that. I think.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, it is slower than the progressive presses, but it's good enough for starting. And
Do you feel like it's easier to, especially for somebody who's new, to make critical errors on a progressive press than it is on like that turret press?
Yes.
Because the turret's a little bit
There's-
slower and you can see more of what's going
yeah,
on.
well, you're only doing one step on that specific cartridge every pull of
right.
the handle, whereas the progressive presses
You have multiple things
you're
going
doing
on.
every step on a cartridge. There's
Right.
multiple cartridges or
In process.
Yeah, in process,
Right.
and then if something goes wrong, then you're like, oh wait, did that one get powder? Did this one get primed? And
Right.
you have to take the pieces out and make sure.
My favorite is that there's a gigantic pile of powder on an empty spot up.
Yeah, and what's cool about the Dylan is it doesn't do that. Like
Neat.
if you have an empty spot in the turret or in the
It'll stop.
it won't charge the powder.
Neat.
So that's cool.
Cool.
Anyways, we
Mark
also
has
have
one-
I was gonna say we have
One
one
more.
from Mark, or Mark has one.
Yes, we heard from John in West Virginia, who won.
He was the winner of the nickels.
He
in
was the winner
Carl's
of the
Head.
nickels.
And we were wondering how he guessed it and how
Yes.
he got so close.
It was the scientific method, clearly. Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate the generosity. I am not a neurosurgeon, but I do use some fancy math to figure the answer. I first imagined the dimensions of Carl's head using a precise measuring devices of how far apart my hands would be around his head.
So
Then
you
I-
imagine cradling Carl's.
Yeah,
Okay.
cradling Carl's head. Then I subtracted the lower jaw to only incorporate the skull, which is a good idea. I really did take into account the thickness of bone by using another proven method of knocking on my own brain bucket to estimate the thickness. Then I wound up with a perceived volume by which I divided by the volume of a roll of nickels, which I imagined with my thumb and index finger. However, my accuracy strayed when I estimated the void fill at 60%, not the 57%.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really good. So in reality, I performed what my late father termed as the quintessential educated guess. And he basically got within 50 cents, which is amazing.
That's
Yeah.
really amazing.
Yep.
Nice.
Well done, sir.
Yes.
Hope you enjoy the black ice thing. I hope you will send us photos and If not, let us know when you send it in so Jason can go down and fondle
Yeah.
it before you get it back.
And I will. Yeah, and I need to let Lee know who
Yeah.
won that also. Again,
Just random stuff starts showing up.
This week was rough, okay? So I'm a little behind on some things. Yeah, we'll keep you in the loop, John, and let you know what's going on.
Do keep us in the loop. We'd love to see
Yes.
how your project goes.
We need to see pictures of, or I'll just have Lee call me and I'll go over and take pictures myself.
Yeah, that would probably be better.
Anyway, thank you, John, and I am impressed on your mathematical abilities.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into some contests here real quick. So, we need to announce the winner of the contest that ended last week on the 30th. Entries were sent in to concealedtacodudes@gmail.com.
What was the question?
Where did the term Jacist come from? And the winner of this is going to win an NOE package. So, a bullet mold of their choice, handles, and a mallet, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We had some good answers.
What is the answer, first of all?
All right, so the answer referenced one of the previous episodes where we were talking about the self-defense in the news.
Yes.
And there was a guy who was at Taco Bell and kind of...
First mistake right there.
Yeah.
Well, there's a whole other Taco Bell we got to cover after we're done here.
Okay.
But he ended up kind of stepping in when a lady was getting, what would you say, mouthy?
She was irate and verbally badgering the employees because of something.
Yeah, and so he stepped in and said, hey, knock it off, whatever. The lady got mad. She went out to her car, grabbed a knife, and then I think did she put on the wig before or did she did she have it on the whole time?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, she was wearing
A black woman
wearing a blonde
platinum
wig.
blonde wig.
And she sneaks up on the dude and slits his throat, almost kills
And
him.
there was video of this.
Yeah,
We saw
barely
the video.
misses his jugular.
Yeah, external carotid.
And
Oh, yeah.
I made the comment of being, situational awareness and stuff like that. And to me, I've lived in Utah here for almost 30 years now. It's not my fault. There aren't that many black people here. I have some very good friends who are black, just so you know.
That's just what you said, of course.
But I thought it was odd that a black woman wearing a platinum blonde wig wouldn't be something that looked unusual in most situations, because you don't see that around here. And I became the Jacist over
Stan.
that.
I think Stan dubbed you the
Stan
Jacist.
coined the phrase, the term, the Jacist.
And apparently, after hearing that explanation, you haven't really improved very much.
Hey, I don't have a problem with it. I just thought it stood out more than what most people thought. Apparently, everywhere else, that's just an everyday occurrence.
You immediately said, "Well, I have friends who are." That's classic.
But I do.
All right. So, who is the winner? So we had several entries.
Several entries that were correct.
So we're gonna do a
Random number generator.
Yep, and the winner is our third person on the
number
list.
3.
Kick Clock.
Kick.
K-I-K-K-L-O-C-K.
Well, so
Kick Clock.
Mr. Clock, you will please send to concealedtacodudes@gmail.com. Please send your shipping information and
what
your
bullet mold you want.
and what bullet mold you want and your real name if that's not it.
We can put Kick Clock on the package.
Yeah. Really exciting. I don't know if you're already a caster or if this will start your journey, but what an amazing amazing product.
Yeah, the ability to choose any mold in stock
Nice.
and mold handles. The NOE mold handles are top notch, and then the little sprue whacker. So
Can you say that on radio?
mold mallet.
Mold mallet.
Yeah.
We have one more contest that ended by the
Today.
time you're listening to this. Actually, it was yesterday, I believe. It ended September 6th. So if you didn't already send your answer in to concealedtacodudes@gmail.com, it's too late and you've missed out. But the question was, Taco made a resolution for this year to have how many net positive guns this year by the end of the year?
Yeah, net new guns.
Net new guns. I just assumed it was going to be positive. I guess it could be negative.
So,
Well, my understanding what it was not more than, right? Was that the resolution?
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
It was.
that was the
This
limit.
number was the maximum by the end of the year.
Right.
Yep.
And
So-
how we do
I'm
by
at
the way?
net 3. Next episode, I can talk about the different ones.
Okay.
That because I've been doing some.
This is the episode
gun
where your wife
swapping.
where your wife joins us, right?
No, she's given up years ago.
So we will have the answers for that and the winner next week.
Next week.
The prize is a Caldwell chronograph and a
Utah Air Guns
Guns hat. It's a sweet hat too. I'm thinking that it might get lost in shipping.
There's 2 hats.
Oh.
So, anyways.
Anyway, that's gonna end our contest for
Now.
now. We still have stuff, and we'll do
For the
some other
future.
stuff in the future. So let's jump into what we did with guns, but let's make it quick. Mark?
Yeah.
Okay,
we'll
next.
start with me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I spent all week assembling mag holders for other people's guns, and that's all I did this. But I carried every day. That's it.
I'm good. Good. I bought a new gun.
Ooh, what'd you get?
I picked up a Canik TP9 SF Elite. Say that 5 times fast.
Those are actually pretty good shooters.
Yeah,
The triggers are pretty nice.
They're
and
all
they're
right.
good shooters.
they're a little chunky.
Yeah. Glockish a little bit, but
We
not.
need-
And I was thinking more XD-ish.
Oh, XD-ish.
Yeah.
I've got
But-
a magazine for it, so we'll have to see if it fits in the in one of
Okay.
the current versions here.
Yeah. So I'm at the point right now where I have a shop that I trade with, and so they're kind of busy. It's almost like the Obama era
Yeah.
where I have lots of credit and they have nothing I want. So not that the Canik's a bad gun, but it's just
It
you know.
wasn't on your radar.
It wasn't on my
It wasn't
radar.
on your to buy list.
Right, but I had the credit. I'm like, those are decent guns. I'll take one of those. We'll see what happens when business slows down or something. I'll have something I can sell. Guns are kind of like currency for me. So, but not a bad gun. Came with a holster. We won't talk about it.
Is it like kind of like one of those Springfield XD holster packages where it's a piece of plastic?
It's really.
It's not really a holster.
It's injection molded. So they injection mold the 2 halves of the holster.
Right.
And then
Rivet them together.
Rivet them together, kind of like the way the Kydex holsters are, but it's really like soft, flimsy plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would work.
It's probably a good gun. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had
No, I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't think it was a decent gun.
yeah.
people, if they ask for a custom mag holder for something, and that happens a couple of times, it's usually because they're it's worth taking a look at.
Right, exactly. They're pretty cheap too. It's like
Yeah, for the
$410
price,
or
for the
something
price,
like that.
Neat.
they're pretty
they're
good guns.
worth having. Yeah, yeah.
Are they made in Turkey or
Yes.
where?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And thus, I think the similarities to the XDs and the XDMs and.
Well, they're made in some Baltic state somewhere.
I thought they were made in the same.
No, they're
Croatia. Well, some
Yeah,
of them
they're
were Croatia.
Yeah,
The old
Are those in
XDs.
Turkey? Now I'm confused.
Croatia's
I
not
thought
in Turkey.
I know Croatia's not in Turkey. I can't remember if the Canics are Turkish or another
Croatian?
Yes,
No, I think they're Turkey.
probably.
But
Anyway, it's right next to Croatia. They're just copying
Yeah,
each other.
exactly.
Just
You
looking
could
over
drive
his
from one
shoulder.
to the other.
I
so-
also picked up a new scope that I'm putting on my FX.
what'd you get?
A Vortex Diamondback Tactical.
Okay,
4-16.
that is worthy of
So
it.
it's a little bit more powerful than.
It'll be heavier.
You can get
That's
closer
all right.
to your pigeon sign.
Yeah, I can get closer to the pigeons, and yeah, that was the other thing I did. I Pigeons are freaking tough because several times I've hit pigeons and there's a poof of feathers. And I have a shirt that says the proof is in the poof. But very often there's a poof and then there's a bird flying away.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen them drop after they get not too far, but
Halfway across the freeway
right.
in some car.
So I was in at Utah Air Guns and just said, hey, and I was telling him this, and he's like, yeah, he's like, pigeons are super tough, and I'm like, what can I shoot them with that'll kill them deader? So I bought.
So what were you using before?
It was just
the round nose.
Yeah,
pellets?
Diablos. Yeah, just a plain old round nose 22 pellet. And so he gave me the. I guess it is a hollow point, but it's not a traditional hollow
You
point.
take
like
the
we
same
think
bullet
of.
and shoot it backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
The Hades.
Yeah,
pellet.
they have 3 little diamond or triangles so that it mushrooms.
It's like
and
3
stuff
hollow
like that.
points on the
Really?
tip.
Yeah, they're on the edges instead of right in the middle.
Interesting.
But he said these will work better. I haven't had a chance to shoot those yet. But
I have.
yeah.
We'll talk about that
Okay.
later.
That's what I did with guns.
Okay, for me, I've done quite a few things. I did buy another gun.
Ah.
So I ended up picking up, and you guys might find it funny, but a 22. Of all the times I say I hate shooting 22s.
Right, you keep buying
I
them.
know, I keep buying them and then selling them and buying them and selling them. I got a CZ 457 at 1.
Now, is that a bolt action or
Bolt
semi-auto?
action.
Okay.
And
That's
it's,
one of the ones that seems to be recommended amongst the
the
real 22 shooters.
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of the
CZ
ones that
makes
they...
some fantastic 20.
And I do have a CZ 457 and 17 HMR, and that thing shoots great.
Yeah.
And so I got this one, and I got they have a longer barrel and a shorter barrel option. I got the one with like a 16-inch barrel.
Okay.
So it's a heavy bull barrel and it's threaded.
Oh, nice.
And it has the Boyd's at 1 stock, so it has an adjustable
Cheek rest?
cheek riser, and then also the length of pull adjustment.
Cool.
So you can extend the stock out a little bit.
Nice.
Do you guys ever think when shooting the adjustable stocks that it just kind of looks like Tinker Toys and it runs the aesthetic?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
But they're absolutely functional, so
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
true.
matter.
And the fact that I can extend it for me, and then the stock for the length of pull, and then collapse it for like my son.
Good idea.
It makes it.
They're super functional, but I totally agree with you. I look at guns like that, and it's like you should be laying in the snow with skis on in a Olympic event shooting
Right.
that gun.
Yeah. But you take like a kid and you hand them
Good point.
a gun with a fixed stock,
Right.
and their arm is like way back, and they just can't get.
Especially if it's got an optic on it, then they can't
Yeah,
get
they
behind
can't
it right.
get it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's the adjustability and the quickness of it. You just push that button on the stock and then slide it in or out.
Do you know?
So-
It is a tough spring though. You have to push
So
hard.
what they need to do is come up with one of those that you can like the real fancy cars you can
Yeah, you
preset
put
for who's driving.
Shooter number 1, 2,
Push
and 3.
a button.
Oh, yeah, and then it has memory and
it just
stuff on it.
moves.
Well,
that would be
one of
awesome.
That's one of my problems with it. I had a gun case for my 308, and I had a 308 that I sold, and I would have to adjust it in order to get it to fit in the case. I've heard that other people have had problems fitting their guns in cases.
Right.
But
It's really sad.
yeah, it is. But I was always worried that I was not adjusting it the same way, and wondering if I went out from time to time and I had an eighth of an inch off here or there, that it would affect
Mess up.
accuracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you just get a bigger case?
Or just a Sharpie and mark on it where it should be.
Yeah, put marks on the stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I also, this week, I cast up a bunch of 9mm bullets. It seems like 9mm and the 300 blackout bunny fart bullet.
Oh, yeah.
I can never have enough of those.
Yeah.
I shoot more 9mm and the bunny farts than anything else.
Makes sense.
So the little 135 grain 30 cal for the
Mhm.
300 blackout.
Cool.
But
Anything else?
yes,
Oh,
I've been
more.
doing a couple of videos, and so if you check my channel, Full.Lead.Taco, I have a couple reloading tips, like quick tips. One's how to help with hand priming, and I did that 38 special heavy bullet, the 172 grain, and that one is now live, and you can see Jason, like, I don't think you say ow. That was Stan who says ow. But Jason makes a pained face.
That's because
as
I was
he shoots
in pain.
the Scandium frame revolver.
It's
And
a
then-
horrible
yeah.
little gun.
It is. When you shoot the 357s, it's pretty potent.
It's snappy. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But it weighs nothing. That's why.
Sure, yeah.
But I can't wait to shoot these heavy ones, the 195s. In
Yeah.
that same
I'll
gun.
watch you shoot
But
them.
yeah, maybe
It'd
I'll
be like squeezing a tube of toothpaste. 195 grain bullet out of a 357.
Yeah. Anyways, I do have another video coming out this Thursday. It's the 120 grain 9mm bullet video. So that one's a fun one.
Cool.
So take a look at the channel. And I do have a giveaway coming up on my channel.
Oh.
I hit 7,000 subscribers, and so
Nice.
I have something planned for that. So
Neat.
stay tuned.
You don't want to announce it here.
I can announce it here.
Give our listeners
Yes.
a preview.
Yes.
What are they missing?
So this challenge is going to be called the 7-cent taco challenge.
And this is going to be the giveaway.
The 7-cent taco?
No,
No.
the 7-cent challenge.
Yes, it will be a giveaway. So
Send you
you'll have
7
to
pennies.
You have to do
you'll
the
have
challenge
to do the
to
challenge
enter the giveaway.
to enter the giveaway.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I
Okay.
always
Well,
make-
I'm a subscriber, so I'll have to.
you should do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you going to explain what it is? Or are you
No.
leaving it in
I
suspense?
gotta wait. They gotta see the video.
7-cent challenge.
Exclusive content behind the
And I
paywall.
haven't picked the prize, what I want for sure yet, but I was either thinking, and I don't know how I can do it with YouTube, but like do either one of those 6.5 Carcanos, because I bought 2 of them, or
Oh.
I can do a scope, like a nice scope.
So you're talking
Wow.
about giving away a gun or a scope?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
All right,
anyways.
Mark, we got to do this.
Yeah, we got
But anyways, so check my channel out and stay tuned for the
Cool.
giveaway video.
Right
Got
on.
some good stuff coming.
Let's jump into self-defense in the news with Mark Housekeeper.
We'll be fast as soon as we get started because apparently I have shut my phone off. And why don't we do a sponsor or something while I look up our self-defense in the news?
Okay.
story?
Black ice coatings.
Make it
Made
slickery.
coupon code SLICKERY
Yeah, slickery.
will save you something, maybe. you got to just talk to
It can't hurt.
Talk to Lee.
It can't hurt.
But yeah, he does 3 different types of coatings:
Uh-huh.
the hydro dipping or water transfers, as well as Cerakoting, and he also does the famous black ice Teflon
Yeah.
coating. And Mark, you did your whole revolver in that, didn't you?
I did, and it's amazing. I almost wore it today, but I was going to be out in the dirt, and I didn't want to get it dirty.
The dirt won't stick. It'll
I
just,
know.
You could just blow it right off.
Okay, self-defense in the news. Chicago thieves realize they carjacked the wrong vehicle when off-duty corrections officer thwarts armed holdup by returning gunfire.
Huh.
Well, the key part of that is returning gunfire. That's
Yeah.
That's pretty. So they're shooting at him
yeah.
while carjacking.
One of the carjackers was shot and is now facing attempted first-degree murder charges. A group of carjackers picked the absolute wrong person to try to steal a car from. The armed holdup backfired completely when an off-duty correctional officer thwarted a carjacking by returning gunfire.
So were they? It's not clear. I assume they're carjacking him. They're trying to steal his car.
Yes.
I think so. Well, here's where.
Okay.
Yeah, here's
It's going to
where it all
clarify.
happened. It happened at 2:30 a.m. Sunday in South Chicago. It sounds like you should not be in South Chicago at 2:30
I think you should
a.m.
be anywhere in Chicago. at 2:30.
The off-duty
That may be the
correction.
bakery.
Yeah.
It's probably about the time
Bulldog
he's getting
Bakery.
started.
Right. The off-duty correctional officer was driving down an alley in the 7900 block of South Phillips Avenue when at least 3 males approached the vehicle with the intent of stealing the car. One of the men pulled out a gun and demanded the driver get out of his car. The officer didn't get out of his car. Several shots were fired his direction, but the driver was not struck.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Yeah. So good for him for being hard to hit.
Yeah.
The 36-year-old off-duty officer returned fire and hit the gunman in the arm and the groin.
Oh.
All right. So well-aimed shots.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, disable his shooting hand, and then
And then insult.
yeah.
Insult to
everything,
injury.
Everything else.
The other 2 would-be thieves fled the scene. Apparently,
Yeah, if you saw your buddy get shot in the groin, you'd probably run too.
David Hall, one of the alleged participants in the carjacking, was taken into the University of Chicago Medical Center. I've been there a few times. He was treated and released into Chicago police custody. A .38 caliber pistol was recovered at the scene. So he
was probably shooting one of them scandium frame things. That's
that's why he didn't hit anything. Yeah, with 175 grain.
Oh, this hurts. Oh, this hurts.
The robbery suspect is on parole for felony theft for stealing a television from a pawn shop.
Jeez.
So, I mean,
it sounds like it's just a long list of bad choices.
Bad decisions, yeah. Oh, he's 19. He's charged with 1 felony count each of attempted first-degree murder, attempted vehicular hijacking, and unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. Here's some interesting stuff. According to recent Chicago Police Department's crime statistics, thefts are down 27% this year.
Huh.
Compared to 2019.
I wonder if that includes all the looting, though.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Robberies are down 3%. Motor vehicle thefts are about the same. Murders are up 52%.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. So anyway, what they did is Chicago.
So they stopped stealing stuff and just started killing each other. More.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's been a lot of places, defund the police and all that kind of stuff. Chicago doesn't seem to have gotten wrapped around that axle as much. They created a 20-person unit to monitor social media activity of anyone planning on looting. They canceled all days off for police officers, and the cops are now working 12-hour shifts. What that means is there is an increase in Chicago of 1,000 officers on the street now as a result of all those measures.
1,000 more.
Yeah. More. Yeah, more officers.
An increase of 1,000. Yeah.
Yep. So it's it's kind of interesting. We see all this stuff going on in different parts of the country, and there are different strategies that different cities are trying. And I guess at the end of this, we'll know which works.
Yeah. Huh.
But
interesting. I wonder what he was driving.
That's a good question.
What did he have that they wanted?
It
probably doesn't matter. They just wanted something.
I don't know. You think they would have gone after him if he was in a Geo Metro?
Yeah, be easy to you just pick him up and cart him away.
Yeah. pick it up off the
car.
Well, that's it.
Okay.
All right. Let's hit a couple more sponsors.
All right. So these 2 sponsors are going to lead into the topic.
Okay.
And Concealment Solutions.
Yes.
You make holsters, but you're also working on a new product.
Yes.
Which is the lingerie for the air tank.
Yes. Air tank lingerie. Yeah, I've made a couple of posts recently on some. Basically, the guys at Utah Air Guns asked me if I could come up with something to more easily carry those big air tanks around, and something that they could stand up, they wouldn't roll away when you sat them down, and you could carry them.
So what Jason is talking about is an air tank the size of like what the firefighters use when they go in.
Exactly.
The problem is those air tanks are round.
On the bottom.
They're round on the bottom and round on the top, round on the side.
Yeah.
It's just...
The only thing that keeps them from rolling around when you lay them down is your regulator or your fill station if it sticks out far enough, and you don't want that getting bumped around.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I saw that once.
Yeah, I bet.
It was actually a helium tank, and it knocked over, the regulator got knocked off, and it shot itself through the wall of the store and into a car.
And everybody was talking funny.
Everyone was screaming really high pitched.
So you're talking also about a safety device here.
Okay. Yes. I'm making safety devices. No, it does make it's easier and safer, and it protects the tank and everything as well. These tanks aren't cheap. So they're like $600.
Wow.
They're carbon fiber.
And these are the tanks that
you fill your gun with.
The air gunners use to fill the air tanks on the guns.
Right.
Or the chambers.
And I believe they will fill your gun at like 4,200 PSI or something like that. So they're super high pressure.
You do not want it falling on a rock.
Yeah.
No.
So anyway,
That needs to be a video for you. We need to go out and shoot one.
It'd come right back at us. I've seen too many of those fireworks gone bad videos.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So anyway, I designed something that works really pretty well. The only downside to it is time consuming to install. Takes about 30 to 40 minutes to put it on. But it's rock solid when it's on. I think it looks fantastic. And it does
look
functional.
good. And you have pictures on your Instagram.
On my Instagram.
And I believe I have some on mine. And I'm going to put a couple more on.
Jason has been asking for what to call this thing on his social media posts. And I keep suggesting stuff, and he never looks at my suggestions.
Where are you making the suggestions?
Oh, both on Instagram and on Facebook.
Huh. I usually get the Instagram ones.
Jason doesn't check social media.
He
just posts.
He just posts.
I'll have to get on my daughter because she's supposed to be monitoring that.
I think you should call it the boa constrictor.
The boa constrictor?
Either that or the garter, sticking with the snake names and the lingerie.
That's not bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was just going to call it like a tank booster or something like that.
Yeah. But the purpose, it has a couple different purposes. One, it has a handle on the side so you can carry it horizontally. Yeah. And it just makes carrying it a lot easier.
Right. And they are kind of heavy.
And then two, it has kind of like little feet on the bottom.
Yeah.
So that it holds the tank standing up when you're filling up your guns, which is really a pain in the butt when you're trying to fill up those guns. Yeah. And it's like the tank is like flopping around or whatever. You have to balance it between your legs or whatever.
Right.
When it doesn't have that. And then third, it has these two little nubbies on the side that
keep it from rolling away.
Yeah. So you can set it down horizontally, and those prevent it from rolling around.
Neat. So if you're throwing it in the back of your car or the back of your truck, you probably still want to secure it. But just for like setting it on the shooting bench next to you if you're at the range or out in the field or whatever, it'll work really good.
Can you get adapters to shoot directly from the tank?
I
doubt it.
Don't know.
Okay, just one.
We're not that deep into the air gunnery yet to know that answer.
But anyway, those are being tested more or less right now. So Taco's got one that he's testing. I finished one for myself the other day.
Does Lee have one?
Lee has one. I'm putting another one together for him. There's actually one on display at Utah Air Guns. So you can go down there and put your hands on it and stuff like that. So those are kind of cool. They're not going to be cheap because there's a lot of...
Because it takes so much time.
There's a lot of material and there's a lot of... Yeah, I need to make a video. Taco's going to help me make a video on installing it because written instructions I don't think would be very... very good. And I found a better way.
They wouldn't.
I found a better way to thread that last one into the hole that's already got a cord through it.
Okay.
So
awesome.
We're getting better.
So coupon code
CTD radio still.
All right.
Stay tuned because next week I think I'm gonna give our listeners a special code.
Ooh. All right.
Worthy of the product, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then the other sponsor is Utah Air Guns, and that will lead into the topic. But Utah Air Guns, they sell air guns and scopes and all things air gunnery.
And pellets that will kill stuff deader.
Yep. So I actually, the topic, I went on a murder spree. Yeah. So a friend and I and my son, Noah, we all went into the Uintas to do some camping, hiking. Murdering. And yes.
For those of you into the paranormal, they were not terribly far from the Skinwalker Ranch.
Ooh spooky.
Yeah. So,
but,
anyway.
yeah. So we ended up taking the air guns that we have. We didn't carry the pistols, the Diana pistols.
Because that would have been too easy. Or you need holsters for it.
Need holsters.
Okay.
But we ended up taking the FX Wildcat Mark IIIs.
The one that you decided that is really too big and too heavy?
No, it's just a
Wait,
little bit better.
Did you hear that earlier, Mark? He was complaining
I
about
just heard
how
that-
heavy his gun was.
I just heard that it was better than yours. That's
How could it be? It's big and heavy and doesn't fit in the case.
It doesn't weigh that much more than yours. It just has, because the barrel doesn't weigh hardly anything, and the
That's
little
true.
air tank, it's all in the stock.
It's the Hubble Space Telescope you have mounted on the top of it.
But, anyways, we took my friend. He did a build with like almost identical as mine. He ended up getting the Wildcat Sniper with
Mark III.
Mark III, yeah. And then we ended up getting the same scope. We used the Athlon Argos BTR 2,
Sure.
I think.
Let's go with
Anyways,
that.
that's a great scope for mounting on that air gun. But then my son, he got to use the Ed gun, Lacey, or however you say it.
Yeah.
Lacey. And I will say, those Wildcats weigh a lot more than the Ed gun, but they hold more.
The Ed gun's a
more-
single shot also.
Yeah, it's like a single shot. You just break it open, put a pellet in, close it, shoot it, and then repeat. And so
Now, the Ed gun's still a PCP, right?
it is.
Okay.
It is. It's a super compact package.
Right.
And if I were to not have brought my son, I probably would have.
That's what you would have
I
gone
would
with.
have carried that at least.
Versus
At least
scrambling,
the second day, I would have carried that.
Yeah.
scrambling around in the hills and hiking up.
Yeah, so we were hiking up some pretty steep rocky areas, and there was
To some murderous overlooks.
murderous overlooks, and there's so much deadfall up there. And I was surprised. With
There's even more now.
Just all these all these fallen trees and fallen critters, but fallen trees that you have to climb over, and just
So,
hiking up. We hiked through some.
what was your pellet of choice for all this murdering that you did?
Okay, so I ended up using the Hades, that triple hollow point pellet.
And these are
And these are all
22s.
22, the Ed gun and the
And
two
both the
Wildcats.
FXs.
Yeah.
And what? How heavy? Do you know what the
I think
weight was?
now I'll probably mess it up if I say it, but
Yeah.
I was thinking somewhere around 17 grains, 15, 17. I don't
Okay.
know. I'll have to
I
double
just
check.
bought
But
some, and that sounds about right.
yeah, it wasn't the heaviest pellet, and it wasn't the lightest,
Okay.
but somewhere in between.
Why did you go with that instead of slugs? Just out of curiosity.
For one, the slugs cost quite a bit more.
Okay.
But two, we had dialed in our guns with the pellets.
Yeah.
And you buy a tin of pellets, it's like 500 of them
For
for
$20.
$20, something like that.
$17, yeah.
They don't cost that much.
Yeah.
And they shot really well in
And all the guns.
all the guns.
Nice.
And I had previously, on that Washington trip, that family reunion where I went out to the farms and did
That was
some...
the interstate murder spree.
Yeah, and I had taken the Ed gun and I had used those, and I had seen the performance on them and how they work really well.
Killed things deader.
They do kill things dead. I didn't try the other pellets, so I don't know
Yeah,
if it needed to be deader than what.
they
But
do.
Yeah, so we
Everything
went on
needs to be deader.
a 2.5 day camping,
Murder
hiking, murder spree.
Come on, just call it what it was.
And it was interesting to not take like powder burners or real
Right.
guns and
Still kill stuff.
kill stuff very dead.
Yeah.
It was surprising how effective those air guns are at killing the varmints and the small critters.
What, if you don't mind, what critters were you eliminating?
So we shot these, we called them rock rats because
Okay.
they lived in the rocks and they look like rats without tails. So we just called them the rock rats. But Mark, what are those technically called?
Richardson's ground squirrels.
So some ground squirrels.
Or I've heard them referred to as pot guts also.
Pot guts.
Chislers.
Chislers. Not to be confused with Twizzlers.
What they are, though, is excellent hawk food.
Huh.
Yeah, and I was going to bring those back, but because it was a multi-day trip, we ran out, our ice melted, and we
So
were
all
going to
you-
throw them in our ice chest and bring it back for Ava, the hawk. But next time,
She's out in the hall very disappointed
I know.
right now.
Yeah. So the intent was to reclaim all of these dead non-game critters and use them and so forth. So we're talking about ways to do this for future hunts where the resource will be used up.
Yes.
yeah. Now, those things, the stuff that got shot they will get used up
Yes,
by
they
the
will.
other critters.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In the area that we were shooting in the rock rats or ground squirrels, there was this. I think it was either a mink or a weasel.
Oh, terrific.
And he was
Loving it.
He was loving it, man. It was like free food. So
That's cool.
there's and we saw a lot of tracks of other animals like coyotes and stuff.
So what was the longest kill shot you think you guys
Does
had?
any of them approach 167?
No, everything was pretty close because it's so.
Is it
It
kinda
was
tight
like
where you
forest.
were?
It was weird. It was like a desert forest, pine trees and the quakies,
Huh.
and there were more of the squirrels in the pine. I think they eat the pine nuts, or I saw a couple of them grabbing pine cones and stuff.
Just before you killed him.
Maybe. So there was one of the shots that was, it counted on my kill count, right? It was a butterfly, and I
Wow.
shot a butterfly on a tree, freestanding at about 15 yards.
That's pretty good.
And so the
Probably
accuracy
one
of
those
these air
rare
guns
monarch
is,
butterflies that are migrating through the area.
it's like one of the protected species
Yeah.
of butterflies.
An endangered Luna moth.
But anyways, yeah, it was interesting to take those air guns instead of real rifles because, for one, if we would have taken 22s, there probably would have been shots that we would not have taken with the 22s. And
Because what?
22s carry farther
Got it.
than the pellets.
So safety.
Yeah, for safety issues. Even though we're on this mountain and
Yeah.
there's no one around still, just for
Yep.
accountability of your shots. But the other thing is with the air guns, you have to plan your refills because we weren't going to haul one of those big tanks on our back
Right.
as we're hiking up this steep
An
rocky
air-
mountain.
You need an air bearer.
Yeah. And so I was thinking about, they have these smaller tanks at Utah Air Guns, and I thought that those would be kind of a waste of money for how expensive they are.
Yeah.
But now I see the value of something you can throw in a pack
Right.
and carry with you, even if you only get like
Lee's-
two fills out of it.
Lee's got some that are a little bit bigger than those, and I don't know where he got them.
Yeah, I don't know. We were hiking one of the days. We hiked the whole day,
Right.
and the Wildcats, man, those
You
got
get a
really
sling
heavy.
on it.
Yeah, we were talking about different ways to mount a sling, but that's where the Ed gun really shone.
Yeah.
It just or shined or whatever. Shone. Yeah. Anyways, it was super light and handy and compact. And my son, as we were hiking up one of the mountainsides that's pretty steep, he stepped on one of the rocks and it rolled, and he took a spill and got all scraped up, and the gun got scraped up, and the edge of the scope took a nice hit, but the
Everything
scope caps
still
actually prevented any damage.
Nice.
And the gun got scraped up a little bit, but and
Honor marks.
but everything, he still was able to
Still
kill
hitting stuff
plenty
after that?
So
So it's durable. These air
Yeah.
guns are.
they are durable, except if I would have fallen with the Wildcat, which I almost did, I stepped on a rock and it rolled forward, and as the rock rolled forward, my foot traveled
Right.
on that, and
Right.
I was going to fly backwards and hit my head on some rocks, but the rock stopped right as my heel was on the top of the rock, and I was able to not die.
Did you swear?
I did not. I just had a very surprised expression on my face.
Yep.
Because I almost died.
Were there any instances where the Wildcats were the better gun to have for follow-up shots or things like that? Because that's kind of the only thing where the Ed gun would kind of fall short with.
The Ed gun, yeah. Okay, so my friend, he shot one critter and did a follow-up shot he worked the action super fast.
Yeah.
It was like bam, bam.
Huh.
And so he got it. And that was pretty awesome to see how quick you can do the follow-up shots with that. It's like It's a bolt action, but it's a
Side cock.
sliding
Yeah.
bolt action. Very smooth, and
Yeah.
you can do follow-up shots really
And
fast.
they're really light.
But
Yeah.
the scope choice, now these have a parallax adjustment,
Right.
which is harder for hunting
Big
because
time, yeah.
with the Ed gun, I had the Strike Eagle 1-8, and it's parallax free, so you don't adjust. So you just
So it's like set at what, 100 yards or something? And
I don't know
Okay.
what it's set for, but you just pop it up and pull the trigger. You look through and it's focused, and it's focused for pretty close out to pretty far, and so he was able to be pretty quick with that. But the follow-up shots are slower because you have to break the action open.
with the
Right, with
little
the
bit
gun.
fancier scope, were you guys at a disadvantage with these varying ranges?
The minimum zoom that we could go is 6. I think they were 6 to
Oh,
24,
okay.
6 to 25, something like
That's
that.
still a lot of magnification.
It is, and we got pretty good at bringing it from the holding it down, bringing it up to the eye, and then having it right on the critter. But the parallax setting, I just kept mine on minimum,
Right.
the 10. And there were a couple times where I looked through it at the farther shots, and it was a little blurry, and I had to reach up. My friend kept his at 20, and it seemed to work fine for him. But yeah, so hunting wise, that scope is probably not the ideal scope unless you're doing like a prairie dog hunt where you're
Sitting.
you're sitting and then you're just picking stuff off, and that's where you could range it, set your parallax,
Right.
set your zoom, and do that.
That's the same issue that I've been struggling with the lever action rifles recently. Is what do I do about optics and stuff? And I think that with something as precision as these air guns, I would want a magnified optic, obviously. But it's just
To
so
take
hard.
advantage of the accuracy,
Yeah.
it's so amazing. I mean, you could stack bullets or stack pellets on top of each other.
There's just so many trade-offs with an optic, and it seems to get harder. I think a little bit as I don't know if it's getting older or something. I don't know if there's any accommodation that you can overcome tiny little issues like that. But I'm finding that I'm just pickier and pickier, and it's harder and harder to be happy with.
Yeah, and
with
the
scope
optics
setup.
are you'll get one that is really good at certain things, but then it lacks in other areas.
Mhm.
And like with the hunting stuff, one of the other things I noticed is with the Wildcat and the scope I had, where it was the height at where it was comfortable with the cheek
Yeah.
or cheek weld or whatever. It meant that there was quite a distance between the scope and the barrel,
Yeah,
which makes it a little bit trickier when you're shooting, because if you're shooting up close, something's real close,
you can hit
then
the low.
you'll hit low, and then so figuring out that the different distances and where it was hitting was a little trickier with that. Whereas with the Ed gun, the scope is mounted closer to the bore, and my son was able to just put it right on and shoot, and he got plenty of stuff. So different things to think about when you're hunting.
Well, I wonder if the listeners have a favorite optic, because I'm really interested in this. An optic that you would not worry so much about a 25-yard shot out to, say, 150 or 200-yard shot. What are the listeners finding is their favorite optic for that kind of thing? Not precision,
Yeah.
way out there.
And I think too, like if I were to do it again and go hunting, I would maybe throw a little Nikon P223 scope on, where it's parallax free and it's fast, just for the hunting
Like
part.
4X,
Well, they're 3 to 9.
3 to 9.
Yeah, I think that would be probably ideal for what we were doing. But and I was gonna say that probably the shot of the trip, well, between my butterfly shot and
Right.
but there was a critter that was running towards my buddy, and he
It's coming right for me.
yeah, and he no scoped it.
Really?
Yeah, he just looked down the barrel and shot it,
Wow.
and he got it. That is pretty impressive. So
With its fangs bared and everything.
it was like ah. So, anyways, it was a really fun trip, it is nice to get out and have fresh air, and then I come back and everything is
Full of smoke.
Yeah.
It's nasty outside.
But next time, I mean, we got to do this again, and we got to bring
for sure.
I guess all you guys, and
Yeah.
we'll have to have Mark bring his little vest where you throw the dead animals in. And
Yep.
I've got one of those too.
so-
You carry twice as many dead
Yeah,
animals.
and we were, one of the issues is we had 3 of us and our camping gear and the air gun gear all packed into my little Forester. And I didn't have like a little roof rack thing to put stuff in. And so I wanted to bring 2 ice chests, one for our food and one for Ava's food, you know, that we were bringing back.
Right.
But I just didn't have space. So
So in Utah, there are several things. It is fall. There's open season on lots of different critters, which were dispatched handily, and then for the urban shooter, English house sparrows, European starlings, let's see, Eurasian collared doves, and pigeons are all good to go.
now, how do you tell the good doves from the bad doves?
Yeah, well, mourning doves don't have the ring.
The ring around
collar,
their neck.
yeah.
And what color is it, or what does it look like?
They look really the same, but the Eurasian doves are usually smaller than a mourning dove. And yeah, you need to be careful about doves.
Yeah.
You need to be sure that they're Eurasian collared doves,
But
or that it's dove season.
The color is pretty prominent. It's pretty easy to see.
Yeah.
So
We also saw it kept getting us every time. These birds are like the dumbest birds, but we kept stumbling across these pine hens
Oh yeah, they're in season. They're delicious.
But yeah,
you didn't shoot
we
any.
didn't
of them?
shoot any.
Those are- We need to go back there with the bird because I want to catch some of those.
Yeah, and they are so dumb though.
They
Like,
are.
Those are the ones that you get within about 3 feet of them, and then they take off, and they're so noisy they scare the crud out of you.
These
Right.
ones,
Yeah.
these ones are so dumb. They wouldn't even. They would just kind of walk away from us, and we're like, really? Like you had to chase after it to make it fly.
Can we go there next weekend?
Yeah.
But we saw like three of those or something.
Yeah.
And my son would, because he's scanning. We're all scanning, waiting, looking for movement, and then you see this. You hear the rustling in the grass and stuff, and then
Right.
you pull your gun up on it, and you see this bird. It's a game bird, so we're like, oh. But yeah, I didn't know they're in season, so we didn't shoot it.
Well,
That would have been a good dinner.
it would.
But anyways,
Tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
so to summarize, I guess if you guys are thinking about getting into the air gun stuff, I know it's really expensive. There are ways to do it cheaper.
Yeah.
And that I did double check on that one gun, and it is made by Air Venturi, and it is the Avenger. That's
Now, which one was that?
that one is the $300 gun,
Oh, okay.
and it is regulated.
Ah.
And so it has, some of those nicer features. The stock is kind of more, I guess, plasticky, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have some of the nicer fit and finish, but
Right.
to be expected on an economy gun. But for the price, it has some of the nicer features.
Yeah.
Neat. So it's a viable way to not spend a lot of money, to do pest control, and to have a tremendous amount of fun.
Yes.
Well, and here's the other thing is, yeah, depending on the route you take, it can be expensive to get into air guns. But once you have the stuff, it's like nothing.
Yeah, it has a large upfront cost.
Right. And
But then
it's
after that, it's
very minimal
it's
after
very
that.
cheap.
Except then you just buy more air guns.
And I will say that pellet, that Hades pellet coming out of the air gun is enough to destroy a penny.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it would just splat on the penny, but it actually blew
At
it up.
what distance?
30 yards.
30 yards.
Yeah.
Wow.
So-
Interesting. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Share the podcast with your friends so we can get up to our goal is to have at least 23 listeners by the end of the year. So help us reach our goal of 23 listeners by sharing the podcast with your friends and your family and your neighbors.
And know what you're willing to vote and fight for, and
Yeah.
do some of that in a be involved.
It seems like everybody is more focused on trying to part people than to
Yeah.
bring them together.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're standing on.
Take a liberal shooting.
Please do.
Do it.
Do it.
Have a good time and teach them if they don't know, if they're a new gun owner.
And what better way to introduce them than with an air gun? It's not
Or a 4570.
Yeah.
no.
All right, catch you later.
See you next week. We do the contest this way, so our numbers get boosted.
Exactly.
People go back and listening to them over and over again. It looks like we have 12 listeners instead of 4.
We need to get some listener bots.